Grandmaster Ben Finegold, and this is our Sunday noon class, also known as the St. Louis 1 o'clock class. No, not really. Okay, that was a joke at your expense. So, yeah, exactly. Okay, so today I normally prepare a lecture and I show you, and then you're like, ugh. But today I'm going to do it from my head because you guys like the word extemporaneous, right?
I don't even know what that means.
Sesquipedalianist.
Yeah, what he said.
One
Okay.
likes to use
Yeah, well,
long
there's Rufus, Doofus, and the triplet. Okay, they're all here. Okay, now, what?
Who are Rufus, Doofus, and the
Well,
triplets?
you three, there's three of you.
Triplets.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys gotta learn, you guys, if you watched every lecture I ever gave in my life, you would get all my jokes. You gotta like watch more lectures to get my jokes. Okay, now today I wanna talk about, at the beginning, I'm gonna start with something that's confusing. And then you'll be less confused, then we'll continue. When you play chess on the internet, or on your computer, or on your iPad, or not in real life, like here, there's a big difference between that and real life. And people don't realize that, and they get confused. So for example, I'll teach a class of children, and I'll say, who knows how to play chess? And they all say they do. And what turns out, they've only played on the internet. If you play on the internet, there's a problem. And that is, when you do something illegal, it doesn't let you. That's actually a problem. If you play in real life, and you do something illegal, and you don't notice, and your opponent doesn't notice, you keep playing. And then you get confused. You're like, wait, why are we both in check? You!
I remember that time at the chess club that my opponent and I were both in check, and you came by and said, "Why are you both in check?"
Yeah. So see, here's what happens. Let's say you're playing on the internet, and your opponent plays knight takes pawn.
Wait, what?
Okay. Then my computer will just put the knight back and say, like, what are you doing? And make a weird noise. Okay. And the same thing, okay? Now, if you're playing in real life, so now you're playing chess and you're like, wow, the floor's pretty, somebody must have vacuumed it, which is true. And your opponent makes a move and now it's your move. Well, if you're not paying attention and focused, your opponent can make illegal moves all the time, and I do on purpose. If I'm playing a kid in a kid's class, I make illegal moves all the time. And you know what they do? Nothing. Nothing. Okay, and the reason is they just assume what I'm doing is legal. If you're playing in a tournament, or you're playing at home, or your friend, you have to pay attention. If your opponent makes an illegal move, on the internet, the computer won't let them. If you're playing somebody in real life, it's your job to stop them. And if you're like, oh, I didn't know their move was illegal, well, that's because you're not paying attention, right? So when I teach chess, I can't show you illegal moves. But if I have a chess board, or you're playing in real life, which you're doing a kids tournament, which some of you have done, maybe all of you, you have to pay attention to what your opponent's doing. And I'll give you a funny example that I saw. Okay, I was directing a tournament, and this was the position. Obviously, it's a kids tournament, and white wants to play checkmate, and everybody's happy. You've all seen that checkmate before. In fact, there's a real name for it, then there's the name you guys give it. What's the name you, wait, that's the real name. He's messing up my lecture. That's correct. That's called scholar's mate. What do kids call it? Kids have another name for it. You're a kid, how do you not know? What's that? There you go, he's a kid. You're probably the youngest, so you got the right answer. Maybe you're younger. No, I'm the youngest, I win. Okay, so the reason 4-move checkmate isn't really, I mean, okay, it is 4 moves, but it could be 10 moves. Okay, now, I was in a tournament, and the kid raised his hand, the kid with the white pieces, and I came over, and I said, yeah. And his opponent played knight takes c4. Now, of course, I can't play knight takes c4 because I'm on a computer, so I can't do it. But in real life, you can do it.
Make it
Now, if your opponent does that and you don't say anything, you just lost a bishop. So you got to pay attention when you're playing chess. Your opponent can make illegal moves all the time, especially when you're playing me.
At the tournament I played yesterday, someone did that the queen move there,
Right.
and
You put your knight here?
no,
Oh.
on the other side.
This knight here?
No, the other night.
This knight?
Yeah, that one.
Tubbs.
On 8,
Here.
6, yeah.
Ah, somebody defended that. Yeah,
And then the queen killed.
Oh, so this is what happened,
Yeah,
and then said checkmate, and then you took the queen.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I've seen that.
And he was a
Then he
fifth
cried?
grader. No, he's a
All right,
fifth grader.
before you raise your hand, let me tell you a funny story, then I'll call on you. A guy who's now like 18 years old, but when he was in kindergarten, so this is a long time ago, none of you were born, maybe you were. He played in the Michigan, like, kindergarten first grade championship, okay? He didn't know anything about chess except Scholar's Mate. That's all he knew.
What?
So every game, he played Scholar's Mate, and they either worked or it didn't. But his opponents are 5 and 6 years old, so it works a lot, right? So he got something like 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, and he was the top kindergartner, he won. He did it every game, and sometimes he would mate, and sometimes they would take his queen. One example was actually, like, the kid played e6, and he still did it. That's all he did. He didn't do anything else.
That's useless.
And then either it was mate or it wasn't mate. When it wasn't mate, he lost. When it was mate, he won. And he actually won more than he lost, because it was mate most of the time.
Oh my.
That's all he knew, and he was the champion of the state.
Wow.
Okay? I know a lot of stories because I'm old. You with some question, but you forgot what it was.
I remember.
Yeah?
Why does the computer blow a whistle when you make the move? 'Cause
Oh, it's just telling you that's
it takes the piece
illegal.
back.
So there's a television show you've never heard of called The Simpsons.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I heard it.
I was kidding, but she's like, I never heard of it. Okay. The Simpsons is the longest running show in television history. It's been on for 29 years. It's a cartoon. It's on every Sunday for 29 years. Okay. And in one of the first seasons, possibly the first season, possibly the second season, I'm old. Homer, the main character, tries to buy an RV. They're expensive. And then he does a credit application, and this alarm goes off, and the red lights are flashing. And then Homer says, "Is that a good alarm?" And the guy says, "You ever known an alarm to be good?" He goes, "No, that says if I go blind, I still shouldn't sell you an RV." So the point is, when you hear weird noises and things go off, you can't do that. So when I make this move, the computer's really mad at me, so it makes a noise. It's like, what are you doing? Okay? Now you're laughing, but try to get what I'm trying to teach you. In real life, when your opponent does that and you don't notice,
You can lose.
well, then it's not chess anymore, you're just being silly. What's the most common thing that happens? In fact, she already mentioned it. Your opponent puts you in check, and you don't notice. So you go here, which I can't do, it'll make a noise, okay? And if you're playing on a website, you're playing chess on Chess or chess.com or chesskid.com or ICC or FICS or chess24 or there's a lot more sites, I missed some of them. Okay, if you're playing on a website, you're playing chess on the internet, you can't do that, I won't let you. So that's why when you're playing real chess, both of your kings can be in check because neither one of you notices. So now this makes me angry. And here's why it makes me angry. When you give all your pieces away, you didn't mean to, it was an accident. When somebody takes your queen, you're like, no, okay? But there's one thing you should always do every move, because you're in the first class. If you were in the last class, I would talk about it. And that is, you have to see if either player is in check. Every move. Now, there's a game you never heard of called backgammon.
I've heard of it.
What? You're the one who didn't hear of The Simpsons. What's going on here? Okay, very unusual knowledge. Okay, in backgammon, if you're a good player, a really good player, and you're playing like for money or you're playing in a tournament, the first thing you do before you roll the dice, every time, is, should I put the doubling cube out? There's a doubling cube, it doubles the stakes.
I know.
Okay, she knows, she's like 5. Okay,
What?
I know you're not 5, but they don't know. Okay, if you're not a good player, you're like rolling the dice, oh, I should have doubled like 5 hours ago. If you're a good player, before you roll, should I double? Yes or no, then you play. If yes, you double, if you shouldn't, you play. Every move. That's all you ever think about when you're a good player. When you're a bad backgammon player, you're like, oh, I forgot doubling cube was there, I forgot. I've rolled 50 times in a row. Okay, chess is the same thing. In chess, before you move, are you in check? Is your opponent in check? If your opponent's in check and it's your move, very suspicious. That means something illegal just happened. If you're in check, your opponent just puts you in check. Now here's something I do all the time, and the kids are like, what? Huh? Where am I? What planet is this? Okay, I'm teaching a class, I'm done teaching, then they start playing chess. And I watch them play. And there's always a couple of kids, one's looking at the ceiling saying, wow, there's lights on the ceiling. The other kid's looking at the floor saying, wow, there's a floor. So there's a chessboard in front of them, and they're both looking away from the board. So I walk up to the board, it happens every time. I walk up to the board, and I go, whose turn is it? And they're like, what? They don't know. They don't know whose turn it is. Okay. Now, whenever it's your turn, whenever it's your turn half the time. When it's your turn, and I ask you this question, you always have to answer it correctly. The question is, what move did your opponent just play? I ask them that all the time, and they're like, I don't know. So you're playing chess, your opponent made a move, it's your turn, and you're like, I don't know what he just did. Okay, you're not going to beat people doing that. You got to pay attention when you're playing chess. When your opponent makes a move, that move could put you in check. That move could attack your queen. That move could capture something. And you're like, oh, I don't know. This also happens all the time, and it happened yesterday. I'm playing a kid. I take a piece, and they go, what did you take? What do you mean, what did I take? I just took it. And they were like, and I make a move, and they're like, what? What'd you take? Do those people beat me? No. You.
Well, like if someone's playing like a bad move and like you don't notice it, you don't get to take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Like,
your opponent can move their queen where 10 pieces can take it, and you're like, well, I don't know what they did. So, this is funny. The best thing you can do in chess is pay attention. Now, let me explain something. You might make a good move, you might make a bad move. If you pay attention, you have a good chance to make a good move. If you're looking at the floor, or you're like, whose turn is it? Or you're like, wow, my hand is shiny. You're not going to play good chess. Okay, I have a question. Let's see if you can all get it right. Whose turn is it?
Black.
Right, what was White's last move?
Check.
Queen.
Yeah.
Check.
Okay, now, here's a hard question. I haven't asked any hard questions yet, so no crying. This is actually a hard question.
Okay.
And I don't expect anybody to get it right. And you don't have to be good at chess to get it right. You have to know how to legally play chess. You have to know legal moves. The question is, it's Black's turn to move. How many possible moves does Black have which get out of check? Won't make that weird noise. If I go here, it makes a noise. If I go here, it doesn't make a noise. How many moves can Black play that don't make a noise? They're legal, they're possible. There's a lot of them. But most kids are like, I don't know, 1? Horrible. Okay, we'll vote. Who says 2? Who says 3? Okay, we have 2 out of 3. What would Meatloaf say? They never heard of Meatloaf. Okay, he's a singer you never heard of? He has a song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's from 30 years ago. Okay, what do you say?
6.
Are you guys ashamed, or is he ashamed?
He's ashamed.
No, I'm ashamed. I don't know the answer, but it ain't 3. It ain't 3. I don't know the answer, but you're wrong.
It's 6.
I know it.
You!
5.
It's 6.
She's getting closer. I don't know what the answer is. It's not 3.
Can we test it?
We can. I could just look and tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure I'm right.
Why? Why is it 6?
Hold on. Well, I actually know which move you don't see.
Oh, I see it now.
Hold on, is this the move you didn't see?
No.
There's
Aw.
It's knight. I didn't see. I just saw this knight to c6.
Oh.
Okay, so that's 1.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Then
That's
that has
3.
2 moves.
That's 4. That's 5.
Bishop.
And that's 6.
Yeah.
Right? I knew 3 wasn't right. Now, this is actually very important because if your opponent puts you in check and you have 6 ways out and you see 1, you're not going to play the right move, right? Okay, now, I get this a lot. You don't believe me, but I've heard it at least 10 times because I'm old. You've never heard it, but I have. You ready? I'm going to show you what I've heard. Checkmate. I've heard that a million times. Now, the reason people think it's checkmate is of the 3 ways out of check, blocking is never used. The kids are like, blocking, that's too hard. Well, you have to block here, right? You can't take the bishop, and you can't move your king. Now, I ask you the same question. How many moves can Black make? It's a different position. The answer is not the same. Yeah?
5.
5?
4.
4?
5.
5, 4, 5. I don't know the answer.
545.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only difference is when the queen was here, Black could play b5. Remember? Like this move?
Yeah.
Now Black can't play b5. Everything else is the same. So it's got to be 5. It has to be because it was 6. You see what I'm saying? You see the math involved?
Oh.
If it was 6 and I took 1 away, it has to be 5. It has to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Right. Now, when somebody says checkmate and you're playing in a real game in the tournament room, oh, okay, I'm in checkmate. When you're playing on the internet, it says checkmate. When I'm playing on my computer, you see this little weird symbol here that looks like a hashtag?
I know what it is.
That's checkmate. So the computer knows checkmate. Your opponent could say checkmate. Now, there are some suspicious coaches, they exist, and they tell their kids, say checkmate. If your opponent agrees, you win. That's unethical, don't do that. When you say checkmate, it's because you think it's checkmate. That's why you say it. Not because you're hoping they agree and you know it's not. That's against the rules. Cheating is against the rules. Unsportsmanlike conduct's against the rules. Now, I'm going to teach you something you don't know, none of you, because you're kids. And you've been taught incorrectly by videos, movies, the internet, and TV shows. It's always wrong. I'm going to show you. You ready? I could even show you a movie where it happens. I can show you a lot of movies where it happens. This is how you offer a draw in the movies. You ready? Draw. That's how they offer a draw on TV. That's not how you offer a draw. If I offer you a draw, don't do that by the way, but if you do, your opponent can think forever, or until their flag falls, if they're playing with a clock. If I offer you a draw, you could think 10 minutes and then say, okay.
Then you'll lose by clock.
Well, if you have 15 minutes, then you won't. Okay, if I put my hand here, it's like over the chessboard. Get your hand away. The way you offer a draw in real life is you make your chess move, you say, I offer a draw, and you hit the clock, and now you wait. And your opponent says yes or no, or just makes a move, or whatever. You don't say draw and put your hand down. That's what all kids do. And if you watch a movie or TV, they all do that too. Okay, also, if you saw the movie, who saw it? It's 30 years old. Searching for Bobby Fischer. It's a really good movie, you should see, you'd like it. I'm serious. Okay, it's a movie, it's a real movie. It was up for Academy Awards. Okay, hold on. In the movie, he offers a draw like that. Okay, and at the end of the movie, they're both supposed to be the two best kids in the country. At the end of the movie, one guy's obviously winning, but the other kid doesn't know it. And then the kid says check, the other kid doesn't know he's in check, and then he takes his queen, he's like, ah. That's like when beginners play. When they're masters, they're not, oh, I'm in check, oh, my queen's attacked, but it's a movie, so it's sort of silly, right? Okay. But you don't offer a draw by going draw. Okay, also you don't talk during your game. Now, here's another rule you don't know. We're going to vote on it. What are the chances the vote is 3-0? There's no chance of that. None. No chance. Now I can be wrong. You guys going to prove me wrong?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a rules question. You're playing in a chess tournament. Okay, and you play this move. So raise your hand, you're going to vote. Should white say check or should white say nothing? Who says white should say check? Raise your hand. Who says white should say nothing? Yes, it was 2-1. If it was 3-0, I'd look really bad. Right? You want to know what the answer is? The answer is most of the kids were wrong. See, that's why I tell you stuff when you're wrong. When you're playing chess, you shouldn't talk. Chess is a quiet game. If you put your opponent in check, you can say check, but you shouldn't. You should be quiet. Now, if I'm playing a beginner and they're like, what's a king? Then I say check because they don't know what check is. I try to help them. But if you're playing in a tournament, you don't say nothing. You with some crazy comment.
Well, what if they don't realize it's check when it is check and you don't.
Now watch this. Watch this. Watch how you can win a chess game because they don't know it's check. Now your favorite rule is touch move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've played in tournaments. They play touch move, right? I hope. Okay. Now watch this. Watch what a great teacher I am. I'm the greatest. Okay. This is a good game so far. Look at this great game I'm playing. Oops, I messed up. Okay, let's go here. That's a good move.
No, it's not.
I know. Okay, now, let's see if they vote 3-0, which I think they will. Should black say check? Yes? No?
No.
No, you should never say check. Okay, now your opponent plays queen here. So the computer makes a noise, because I can't go there. You agree. I'm in check. Oh, I'm in check, I'm sorry, and now you play here. So if you call over the tournament director, and you say, excuse me, tournament director, my opponent played here, and he's in check, and the director's like, okay, right? You got all that?
Yeah.
He touched his queen, didn't he?
Oh.
Ooh.
Then he has to move it to block it. On
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants to do, right?
Oh, wow.
That's required. He touched his queen. Touch move. Now he has to cry like a baby, right? Which is the correct, that you should cry there. Yeah. Okay, so touch move. If you touch something and you can move it, you have to. So if your opponent does that and you tell the director and you say he has to go here, the director's like, yeah, gotta go there, touch your queen. So I wouldn't say check. Now here's something very silly. There's something you never heard of, called blitz chess, where each side gets 5 minutes.
I never heard of it.
Each side, and you play, okay, now, if you play on the internet, or you play on your laptop or your iPad, you can't make illegal moves. If you play in a real chess game against a real person in front of you, you can make illegal moves. If you do that in a 5-minute game, you lose. So, if you put somebody in check and they make an illegal move, you win the game. In a blitz game. In a blitz game. Not in a slow game. Not in a slow game, in a blitz game. In a 5-minute game. Okay, this happens all the time. Therefore, you really don't want to say check. Because if they don't know they're in check, you could win the game immediately. And still people are saying check. I'm like, why are you saying check? If they don't know they're in check, you win. They're like, oh yeah. Okay, you gotta use the rules to your advantage. You with some comment that's not crazy. Yeah, it might be.
I was second place in Blitz.
In Blitz, was there any illegal moves anywhere?
I did a check and then that guy didn't even see it. And I
Right.
just took his
And so
king.
you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in slow chess you don't win.
You
Just
just
in,
hate the king. and
right.
win.
Now, do you guys know how to play Bug House? You
Yeah.
heard of it?
Well,
Nah.
kind of.
It's
I was.
awesome.
Yeah, because you don't have to say check either.
Did you read my book, Have a Heart Attack Like a Grandmaster? Okay, kids like Bug House. What Bug House teaches you is what you can do when you can't do it. But you can do that in real chess too. Let me give you an example. In this position, in real chess, you would like to put a pawn on f7, checkmate, but you can't. But in Bug House, your partner gives you a pawn, and then you put it here, checkmate. You win. Or a bishop, or a queen. Okay, when you're playing regular chess, you should actually think like that. You should be like, man, if my queen was on b5, I'd be winning. And you can't play queen b5, so play it later. You could prepare to do that. For example, let's say your knight is here, and you want it to be there. If you're playing Bug House, you just put a knight there. Right? You get a knight from your partner and put it there. In real chess, you're like, oh, I can't go there, I give up. That's not what grandmasters do. They just get their knight there. They're like, how does my knight get there? And it might take 3 moves. You see what I'm saying? And if this pawn wasn't here, they could do it 3 moves this way, or 3 moves this way. You see what I'm saying? That's actually how grandmasters think. I want to do this, I can't do it, so let's do it anyway. It just takes longer, right? For example, let's say you want to jump into that room, but you can't jump that far. So just do it in 4 jumps instead of in 1.
There's actually a 2-move way to get there, but you have to get the other knight there in 2 moves.
That's correct, right. So in chess, if you want to make a move, but you can't make it, in Bug House, you just like, give me that piece and you do it. And in real chess, you can do it in 2 or 3 moves. You don't have to, right. Now I'll show you a famous game, which I always show everybody, okay? And this gives you a good example of what you want to do. This game is so famous that there's a Wikipedia article about this game.
You showed me this before.
Right, and you forgot.
No.
I can prove you forgot. What did black do here? See, I proved
Took
it.
the pawn.
No. No, you know, come on. Admit you forgot. I want you to admit it. Rawr. Okay, bishop here. Now let's see who the smartest is.
I know.
What's the bishop doing to the knight? What do we call that?
Pinning. Pin.
All right, let's see who's the extra smartest. What kind of pin?
Not pin. Not absolutely pin.
It is not absolute. What's the other one called? I'll give you a hint. You're playing your mom or your dad. That's a good hint.
Grounded or something.
Grounded. No, that's a relative pin.
Okay.
They're your relative. Okay. Do you know the difference between the absolute and relative
Yeah.
pin? Say no.
Yes,
No.
yes.
But
yes.
no, but do you actually or no?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Can I
And okay, you can explain to the class. I'll take a nap. And then I'm going to get a copy of my book, Sleep Like a Grandmaster.
Well, actually, an absolute pin is like it's pinned to the king and it can't move because that'd be illegal.
I agree.
And a relative is like you'll just lose something.
Yeah, she explained it better than I would have. Thank you. Right. If you move your knight, you'll lose If you move your knight, you'll lose your queen, so don't move your knight. In some instances, you can't move your knight because that would be pinned to the king. And in fact, that'll happen later in the game. So that's a relative pin, okay? So this is the game, and now you kids are happy because white's threatening checkmate. But black stopped it. Okay, now, this is an example of I want to do something, so let's do it. I want to take this pawn because I'm attacking it, and I want to take this pawn because nobody's protecting it. If we look at the other pawns, they're all protected, except the e5 pawn. You see what I'm doing here? If you take those pawns, you're going to lose something. If you take this pawn, it's free. If you take this pawn, it's free. And you're like, I can't take that pawn, I give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay, what's that woman you like, Karen? The one in England. The singer. Yeah, Kate Bush would say, don't give up. Rawr. Right? Good joke. And who was she singing with? Peter Gabriel, right? And Karen's not agreeing with me. Okay, but I'm right. Okay, so you guys are like, I can't do that, I give up. Do it anyway. Rawr. Now, one of my favorite people ever is Yuri Shulman. He's a grandmaster who's better than me. And this is a very funny story. We play in tournaments sometimes. And the first time we played was a draw. And the second time we played was a draw. The third time we played was a draw, and so forth. The first 6 or 7 games were all draws. Then he beat me, and then I beat him, and then he beat me the next 3 games. Then he goes, man, we don't draw anymore. Okay. Yuri Shulman, when he teaches chess, he says, if you want to do something, but you can't do it, but you really want to do it anyway. He's right. So I want to take this pawn, but I don't want to lose my bishop. Okay? I don't want him to take my bishop. And I want to take this pawn because it's not protected, but I can't because there's no way to do it. We'll do it anyway. Rawr! So I want you to attack these 2 pawns.
I know how to do that.
How do you do it?
Move the bishop to d5.
If you move the bishop to d5, which attacks this pawn, you could take the bishop, but more importantly, you're not attacking this pawn anymore. You're already attacking it once, and that's still attacking it once. You need to attack it more. Rawr! You need to attack these again. Attack it with other pieces. Use all your pieces.
How?
I'm furious.
How?
If you can't do it, do it anyway.
Use the other bishop to attack the
Well, wait, this bishop, we're talking about white squares. That bishop's not going to help you. Now, in Bughouse you could do it, but not because you get 2 bishops of the same color. By the way, a couple of days ago, I was watching a Bughouse game, and the guy had 4 bishops. He had the bishop pair, and I ain't kidding. Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. Is this really close to white's pieces or really far away?
Really far away.
What moves really far away in chess?
bishops
And?
Queens!
And queens. Bishop's already doing something. Let's get this queen working for us.
Oh, wait. No.
Oh, bathroom's down the hall. It is.
You know what he means?
Yes, I know it.
Come on, I want to attack those pawns at my queen. My queen can go really far. Rawr. No, I can't do it.
Queen to b3.
Queen to b3. Now, you agree I'm attacking this pawn. And now I got 2 guys on this pawn.
Battery.
Yeah. So if I was black, I would want to not have black anymore. Because now I'm going to lose something. You with some comment about batteries.
Well, what if you play queen takes b7 and then you win the rook?
Ooh, that would be good.
That makes no.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Oh,
Yeah. So you like that move, queen b3?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
but
I have a funny story. And I've told this story before, so you guys can go like make a sandwich. The guys at home. Okay, so I had this position once. So this game was played 150 years ago, but I also had this position about 10 years ago. I had it. And my opponent saw that, but didn't see that. So they stopped the one that they saw, and I played here. And they were like, oh, didn't see that. Then they went here, and now let's see who the smartest is. You, are you the smartest?
maybe.
I know.
What did I do?
Move the queen right next to the bishop or like
Yeah, you mean like here?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then look at the hashtag. That means I win.
It's me.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so in the game I'm showing you, black played here, and white could have taken this pawn as you suggested to win this rook. Right?
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Now black has a very tricky way to save his rook, because his queen and bishop, what's that called?
Battery.
Battery. So we can go check, because I said so, it's check.
And fork.
And yeah, and you attack the queen and the bishop. Okay, so he takes the queen, and he takes the queen, everybody's happy. Well, maybe the computer's not. Okay, so white played knight c3. I'm going to skip over the next part of the game to explain something to you. Okay, what I want to explain to you is in this position, this is later in the game.
Oh.
Remember we were talking about pins? And you were like, relative pin, I don't understand. Absolute pin, I don't understand. Now you can understand.
This is absolute pin.
Yeah, this is what kind of pin?
Absolute.
And what kind of pin is that?
Relative.
Yeah. Now, is it good when you're pinning the other person, or it's good when you're getting pinned?
When you pin the other person.
Yeah. So in this position, black has two knights and they're both pinned. Man, that's not good. Okay. Now I'll show you the end of the game because I want to talk about something else. Let's see. Rook takes d7. Rook d1. Now we're going to vote. Ready? Okay. If black plays rook takes rook, you'll notice both kings are in check. I'm serious. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so is that allowed?
No.
Raise your hand, that's allowed.
No.
Raise your hand, that's not allowed. He likes the way they voted. Now, if it is allowed, nothing will happen. If it's not allowed, it'll make a beeping noise, it'll go back, right?
Yeah.
That's not allowed. You can't move into check, you're not allowed to. Okay, now in this position, this is a famous position. White wants to play
I see the
checkmate. Notice that that's checkmate. Now, if you were playing on a computer, it would take the move back because you can't jump over the knight. But if you're looking at the floor, and then your opponent does that and says checkmate, you're like, wow, how'd that happen? Oh well, I lost. So you got to pay attention. When your opponent makes an illegal move, you got to stop him. Now, white can play that checkmate because he really, really wants to. Yuri Shulman style. I want to play that mate. Nothing's gonna, well, he does anyway. Look how their hands are raised. See, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. You, because you're taller.
The queen all the way down.
All the way down. Queen b8 check. Or as some kids in my class would say, checkmate.
That's a great move.
Not a checkmate.
I didn't say it was a checkmate, I said as the kids in my class would say.
No, that's
No, but you can just move your king up.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
now we're gonna pause for a commercial.
no, I mean.
Here's why I get mad at kids. The kids are in check and don't know it. That doesn't make me mad. That's all the time. And I'm like, you're in check. Oh, okay. Then they make every illegal move they can think of. And I'm like, instead of moving in 1 second and not knowing if it's legal, like pay attention. So is this, can you move your king here?
No.
No. So what kids do is they're like here, and I'm like, that's illegal. Okay. Here, that's illegal. Okay. Like, don't make illegal moves. Like, think about it. Can your king, like, this is the most illegal move ever. Your king's in check by 2 pieces. What are you doing? Okay, so what's the only move that is legal?
Not.
The knight.
Yeah. And now you really, hey, pay attention. Yeah, you're not paying attention. Now I made an illegal move because you're looking over there. Now what did white do?
Walk all the way down.
All the way down.
And that's
Mate.
checkmate.
And this is a famous game. If I go to the internet, I could actually find this game on a website. This game has a name.
I know.
Do your chess games have names? No, this one does. What's the name of this game?
Opera.
That's the opera game. And if I go to the internets and I type in the opera game, then I wait forever. Don't forget to wait forever. You guys are all making illegal moves because you're not paying attention. What's going on here? I have to wait forever. I lost internet. Nothing works. Oh well, I give up. Giving up is the cornerstone of being a great chess player. I give up. You with some crazy comment.
Well, that's an example. Isn't that like sacrificing your queen for a checkmate?
That's exactly what happened. You just said what happened. Yeah, that's right. So who won this game?
White.
White.
Why?
Because he checkmated his opponent.
He checkmated his opponent. I show this game all the time because white got all of his pieces out and black's like, down, not going to do that. And who was pinning everybody that game?
White.
White was pinning all of black's knights and we were like, what pins are? Okay, now, this makes me angry when I'm teaching kids and they're like, wait, why can't you make all these illegal moves? They're like, oh, I'm in check, can I go here? And I'm like, no, why not? Oh, that's why. How about here? Instead of asking me if it's legal, you could look yourself. You should be like, can I go here? And not wait for me to answer, but like answer your own question, right? If you claim you know how to play chess and you're actually playing a chess game, you have to know when your king is in check, otherwise I'm furious. Remember the backgammon story that you weren't here for? Right? He's like, yeah, I remember that story I wasn't here for. Okay, somebody just walked in. So, the first thing you do before you make a move, am I in check? Is my opponent in check? That's the first thing. If your opponent's in check, that doesn't make any sense. That means something funny just happened. If you're in check, your opponent just put you in check. Now this is very important in blitz chess, as we discovered. If you're in check and don't notice, you lose. In real chess, it doesn't matter. On the internet, none of this matters. This is why I'm explaining this to you. That was the point of the lecture today. Chess on the internet and chess in real life is different. I'll tell you another difference. Have you ever played with the chess timer?
Yes.
If you play with the chess timer, can your friends say, hey, your time is down, and their friend's watching? Is that allowed?
No.
That's the most not allowed ever. Okay? If you're watching a chess game, are you supposed to say, hey, you're in check, and your queen's hanging, and your flag is down? You're not supposed to say anything. And I get mad at kids who do. I'm like, you're not playing that game. Yeah, but he made a bad move. I wanted to point that out. Oh, his time is out. I was just pointing that out. You're not playing the game. When you're playing a chess game and your opponent loses on time, you have to say something. Let's say you don't say anything, because you don't notice. You keep playing. Your opponent's time is down, and now you get checkmated. You lose, got checkmated.
Yeah.
You could have said you won like the last 5 moves, but you didn't notice. On the internet, on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your... by the way, I play chess on my iPhone. Okay? On websites, on your tablet, whatever you got, you don't have to do that. Oh, your flag's down, let me type that. It's the flag's down, game's over. When time runs out, you don't have to do anything, you're lazy. When you make illegal moves, it takes it back for you. So you can be really lazy on the internet. You can be like, oh, I made an illegal move, I'll take it back. Okay, in real life, if you make an illegal move and nobody says anything, then every move is illegal and it's ridiculous. Right? So when kids say they know how to play chess, you could actually not know how to play chess and play on the internet. Illegal move, it takes it back. Illegal move, it takes it back. Oh, that didn't take it back, I guess that's legal. Don't know the rules of chess, don't play on the internet. In real life, I gave a simultaneous once. Now don't cry, because this is a crazy story. You ready? Do you know what a simultaneous is?
Yeah.
It's where I play a lot of people at once. At the same time, I walk around.
I know this.
I played 150 kids at once. Now the problem, the true story. And what was my score?
150.
150. Right. Now the problem was about 10 kids, they didn't know what was going on. They're sitting there and there's a chessboard in front of them.
They didn't know.
So like move 1, queen d3. Okay? And I'm trying to play 150 games and I'm like, I need an adult. I have to have like adults come and like help the kids. I can't stand there for 5 minutes and explain the rules. I got 150 kids. You know what I mean? I can't stand there for an hour. I gotta like say that's illegal. Go to the next board and have an adult help them.
Was his actual move queen d3 first?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but if the kid doesn't know the rules of chess, what do you want from me? Now, I've never had this in my life, but I had this 5 times in the simul. 5 times. I was black and I went here. And this is 5 of my games. Checkmate. That was quick.
That's what you played?
Right, well I was black. That's a version of what mate? What's this mate called?
Fools.
This is called fool's mate. That's the 2-move checkmate. Doesn't happen very often. Right? Checkmate. Okay, so I did a semi-fool's mate 5 times in one exhibition because there were 150 kids. The kids didn't play very good. What do you want from me? It wasn't like they were taking them from a chess tournament. It was a school. I did the whole school. The whole school played in the simultaneous. So they weren't rated. They were just kids.
Some didn't know how to play.
Yeah. So they were like queen d3, and I'm like, good move, but not too good. But not too good. Yeah. Now, a funny thing happened in the simul. My opponent castled.
Wait, like that?
Okay, I'll give you an example. This isn't exactly what happened, but I'm gonna try to show you like the idea. Okay. I'm just setting up a random position, just so you know what happened. Okay. So in a position like this, my opponent castled. Okay, and I played that, winning their, like that, right? You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
What's that called? Fork. Okay. Now, it's 150 board simul, so I walk around, I get back to the board, and my opponent's not castled and my knight is there. And I'm like, now I remember, because I'm a grandmaster, I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Oh, I didn't castle. Said, my friend didn't know what castling was, which I believe. Boy, do I believe that. So I showed him what it was, and when I showed him, you came and played this move. I wasn't trying to castle, I was just showing him. Was he telling the truth? Nobody knows. But I let him take it back anyway, because I'm a nice guy. I still beat him. But I like that. When I won his queen, he took his move back. That he had made up some story. Was he telling the truth? Yeah, maybe. Did his friend not know how to castle? Oh yeah, his friend didn't know how to castle. So I don't know. But now here's a funnier story. I'm giving a 72 board simul. I did not win all those games. This was at a nationals. So the kids were good. And I was giving my simul, la 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 la, and there's some kid running back and forth. And I'm like, well, they're kids, they run back and forth, I don't know. And then, about move 15, I noticed something funny. In one of my positions I had the same position somewhere else with different colors. Now, in most simuls, you're white in every game. But in this simul, I'm like, you can have whatever color you want. I'm still gonna crush you kids. I always let my opponents, I don't care what color they have. So watch what happened. If you thought you were sneaky, listen to this story. I played e4. You got it? I'll show you. You guys at home already know this trick. I played e4. The kid was watching, ran to his board, and played e4. Then I played c6. The other kid was watching, ran to his board, and played c6. So I have the same position on both boards. One on white, one on black. So I'm not going to win both. I'm going to win one and lose one. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, why are these kids running back and forth like so fast? And I'm like, why do I have this position on two boards? Then I figured it out. And I went to the kids and I said, you can't do that. And then I just took all their pieces after that. If you don't know how to play chess, you could still get 1 out of 2 doing that. That's cheating. You see how that's cheating? They're still confused. They don't know what I'm talking about. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
What? I know what.
Yeah. So I'm playing white on one board, black on the other board, and I got the same position. That's not good. I'm trying to win both games, right? That's why in a simultaneous exhibition, you should take the same color on every board. They can't do that. Yeah. In Bughouse, could you do that? That would be hard to do in Bughouse because you're taking pieces.
They have 4 bishops.
Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah. So anyway, it's easy to cheat in chess, but no cheating. Rawr! Right? Okay. Now we'll give some puzzles because you guys did good today. You sat there and didn't cry too much. Okay, first puzzle. Remember, this is the easy class. So if it's too easy, too bad. Whose turn is it?
Black.
No, I got white, black, and other.
It's white.
It's black's turn.
Whoever's the loudest is correct. No.
White. Black. White.
Wait, you both say white and you both say black? Good class.
Wait, what?
And he says what? Whose turn is it?
Wait, let me.
It's black's turn.
It's white.
It's
White.
white's
It's
turn.
not
It's
white's
white's
turn.
turn.
White just moved.
Black just
No.
moved.
Black took the. No, I would not.
The pawn.
White just played king to e2. If you go to your right, it says king to e2.
No.
Exactly.
Okay, and if you go back, white played king e2. Good paying attention. Good job. Okay, so now I can ask the question, what's black's best move? What's the best move? Better than all the rest. Better than any move I ever met. Right? Is that your favorite Tina Turner song?
No.
They've heard of Tina Turner.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I know, I'm like
I
laughing.
have it.
Yeah. I saw Tina Turner and somebody else you never heard of at a concert once at the same time. You also haven't heard of him. Elton John.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Yeah, I know.
Wait.
There's a reason why you haven't heard of them. You know what the reason is? You haven't heard of anybody. That's the good reason. Yeah, that's a good
I've
reason.
heard of you.
Well, okay, I'm famous. Those random people. Who's worth more money? Me or Elton John or Tina Turner? Those are your 3 choices.
You. you, I think.
Oh, worst answer ever.
Elton.
You know how much my wife is laughing over there now? What?
Elton.
I would assume Elton John is the correct answer.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it was Tina Turner, but it could be.
Elton John in like
Elton John and Tina Turner have been famous for 50 years each, plus tax.
yeah, like
Plus tax.
They're singers.
wait, isn't Elton John acting in the Kingsman Golden Circle? Like, he acted as a guy. Wait, never mind.
You!
I see the good move.
I don't believe you. Okay, what's your good move?
Checkmate.
But you didn't say what the move was. You just yelled the word checkmate out.
Queen either. Queen
Either?
I mean, there's 3 of them.
No, there's only one checkmate. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
It's
I guarantee there's only one
E5,
checkmate.
E4.
Only one of them's checkmate. She's like, they're all checkmate. She doesn't believe me.
There's only
I got
I
one.
see it.
You with the wrong answer.
Before.
You better be wrong or I look bad.
Queen E6.
Yes.
No.
No, but I said with the wrong answer, so you did good.
Ooh.
You did good. You again, but you.
King.
King?
I mean,
Rawr, attack the king. Rawr. Stop laughing at my lecture, I'm trying. You with the right answer.
I meant queen to E4.
Yeah, checkmate. And the computer has the checkmate sign. Now we're gonna see if you're correct. She says this is also checkmate.
No.
Okay? Did you see a hashtag there?
No. it's
No,
plus.
because kings can run away from check.
Oh.
Yeah, and the same with E6 obviously. I can run away. However, on E4, I can't run away. Whoa, even on that move. Okay. Checkmate. Now, there's a story, I'm not sure if it's true. Probably true. The rules of chess occasionally change, like small changes. And in fact, one of them changed 2 years ago in the US Chess Federation. It said if you castle, let's see if you guys know what I'm talking about. When you castle, it's with your king and rook, right?
Yeah.
Should you touch your king first, your rook first, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't
No,
matter.
Let's vote. Who says king first?
King.
Well, they all say king first. Right. And the US Chess Federation changed their rule. In 2014, in the rule book, which we have, it says if you touch your rook first, no problem. Fine. Then in 2015, they changed their mind. They said touch your rook first, gotta move your rook. Harsh. And kids are just like la 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 la, so they touch the rook first all the time. They don't know what's going on. Now, if you play on the internet, okay, watch this. If you play chess on the internet or on a computer or whatever, okay, if I want a castle, I have to touch my king.
Yeah.
I go here, it castles. If I do that with my rook, it just puts the rook there.
Yeah.
That sort of helps you when you're playing real chess. Now, if you're playing in a USCF rated tournament and you play rook here and then put your king to G1 and your opponent complains, the director is going to make you move your rook. You better. Now, the reason I told you all of this is a long time ago, not now, forget what I'm telling you. A long time ago, not now. If you made an illegal move, like that's illegal, right? You had to move your king. That was like 150 years ago. They got rid of that rule. That was stupid. Okay? Now, what happened was white wanted to play this move, which attacks the queen. That's a normal move. Instead, white accidentally did that. He just picked up the wrong piece.
Oh my god.
Well, that move is illegal. You agree?
I feel so bad.
So white has to go here. That was the rule 150 years ago that he got mated. They changed that rule. That's 150 years ago, not now. Now, let's see if you guys know the rules. If you're playing in a tournament and your opponent, well, not a blitz tournament, you win. Illegal move, you win. Let's say you're playing in a slow tournament and the guy goes here. Now you call the director over. What does the director do? What's the ruling? What happens?
Make a move your bishop.
Okay, where am I going to move make a move the king? That's 150 years ago. Not now. Okay, where am I going to move my bishop?
He gets
Nowhere.
So now what do I do?
You're out?
You're out? What does that mean, you're out? No, you don't lose because you made an illegal move. That's in a speed game, not in a slow
You gotta
game.
give your move to your...
Yeah, your opponent gets to move?
Yeah.
No.
It's a good thing I teach these classes because nothing. You guys know what tabula rasa means? Okay, so if you make a move that you can't make and nothing can move, you can do whatever you want. So it's just like it didn't happen. You just pretend it didn't happen. Because the bishop can't move. Now, there's a really silly director in St. Louis, and listen to what he thought, then he changed his mind. Let's say you go here, let's say you want to move your rook, and then you're like, oh, that rook can't move, because it can't.
And then you say touch
Okay,
move.
now you're playing touch move, you can't move your rook, you can do whatever you want. In a blitz game, if you make an illegal move, you lose. So this guy thought if you touch your rook, then you're like, oh, I can't move that. Since it's touch move, and all moves are illegal, you lose. No. If you make an illegal move in a blitz game, you have to hit your clock. Let's say I go here in a blitz game, and I don't hit my clock. I can just take it back and make some other move. Illegal moves in blitz chess only lose when you hit your clock. If you haven't hit it, you can change your mind. In slow chess, illegal moves never lose. However, hold on, I'm not done. There's two kinds of rules. Ones you play by and ones that'll confuse you. The ones you play by are US Chess Federation. There's also the International Chess Federation, like when grandmasters play in other countries. They don't play by US rules. And in the US, when it's a really strong grandmaster tournament, they also don't play by US, they play by the international rules. International rules, if you make two illegal moves in slow chess, you lose. For example, you go here on move one, and that's illegal.
A grandmaster would do
Okay,
that.
and then the arbiter comes and says you can't do that. Then later in the game, you're playing a game, it's a normal game, and then you go here. Also illegal. Now you lose, because you made two illegal moves. In the US Chess Federation, they're like, yeah, whatever, make illegal moves. Okay, so my advice to you as a chess coach, don't make illegal moves. If you play on the internet, it doesn't let you. If you play in real life,
It does.
okay, and the problem is when your opponent makes an illegal move and you don't notice. So I want to see if my opponent's paying attention when I'm playing for fun against a child. I'll make an illegal move. If they don't say anything, I yell at them like, I just made an illegal move. They're like, you did? What? Oh. Sometimes they catch it like, hey, what are you doing? Then I know they're paying attention, right? Now, I'm gonna, you, and then I'm gonna ask a question. You.
Yesterday, in the third round, my partner.
Your opponent?
Yeah, my
Did the game start like this? The answer is yes.
No.
No? Is that the game that you won?
Yeah, it's the game I won.
Were you white?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it started. I was watching it.
Okay, but after a little while, my opponent moved.
Illegal move.
Not illegal
Oh.
move. She put it in a illegal place. When she did not want to put it there, so she put it somewhere else. The knight somewhere else.
Okay, then what happened? Nothing?
I noticed that, so I said that wasn't there.
Oh, by the way, this is really funny, and then we'll be done, because this is a really funny story. There's a lot of people in St. Louis, see, like, the St. Louis Chess Club is known for grandmasters and super grandmasters and super duper grandmasters.
What's the
They got world champions there all the time. In fact, in like 2 weeks, Magnus Carlsen's there playing in a tournament.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, now, however, other people go to the chess club and play chess, people like you. They just go play chess in the St. Louis Club. It has a big club, they play chess. And when I'm there sitting around, because I was there for 7 years, there was a lot of arguing. And I'm like, they're arguing about stuff. And I'm like, what are you arguing when you're playing chess? Like, you make a move, and the other guy makes a move. Here's what most of the arguing was. I finally figured it out. Watch this. Okay, so it would be a position like this. Okay, and white would play bishop b5, and his hand is still on his bishop, then he changes his mind, which is fine. And instead of putting the bishop back on d3, that's where it was, they put it back on e2 because they think it was there. They think it was there, and their opponent's like, what are you doing? And they argue. This happened all the time there. Like, they make a move, they change their mind, but they don't know where their piece was, and they like neither one of them knows, they argue. All the time. And I'm like, what? Because they're fine players. Now, are the world champions doing this?
No.
Now, the world champions will show you games they played 20 years ago. The people who aren't very good, they're like, where was my bishop? Where was my king? What am I doing? Whose turn is it? What's happening? and somehow Grandmasters beat them. Yes.
So what if you have a very photographic memory and just look at the word, say click, and then you just close your eyes and then remembered exactly where your piece was, and then you just put it right back? And then you change the...
Do either one of you want to answer that question?
No.
Is that a question?
No.
No, but what if...
Was there an answer to that
no, but what if
question?
then you move a different piece after putting your piece back?
Oh, by the
Is that
way,
cheating?
let me get to that.
That's touch move.
Unfortunately, when people are playing for fun, a lot of times they're not playing touch move. A lot of times, like most of the time. In my club, when you're playing chess, you play touch move. That's a rule. It's in the rule book. I don't want to play touch move. I don't want bishops to move diagonal. I don't want castling to be legal. You can just make up your own rules. So touch move is a rule. You can't just say, I don't want to play touch move. I don't feel like it. That's a rule. You can't just change the rules. So what they do a lot is they go here, they think it's on e2, then they play knight c3. And the other guy's like, what are you doing? And then they argue. Right, but they don't know what's going on. They're arguing about it. Also, they argue about what the score is. They play blitz chess for fun. So I walk up, I antagonize them. You know me, right? I'm like, who's ahead? And one guy's like, we've played 7 games, I'm ahead 6-1. The other guy's like, I'm ahead 5-2.
What?
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what? And then they start arguing about it. Well, I won that game. No, you didn't. What? Sometimes the game ends and they're resetting the pieces for the next game, and I say who won, and they don't know. I won. No, I won. And the game just ended. Right? Now, does that happen in Grandmaster play?
No.
No! Now, there was a tournament here last week, and the guy won, and he wrote he won, and he walked away, and his opponent came and crossed it out and wrote it was a draw. Yeah, I'm serious. And they're still arguing right now, and it was a week ago.
That's cheating.
No. He thought he drew, and the other guy thought he won.
What was the actual result?
Well, I had to call them both and talk to another director, and I did a lot of work. Okay, here's what happened. You guys make the ruling. Ready? Okay, one guy was killing it. He was up a bishop and 4 pawns, and the other guy was getting crushed. And so the guy who was winning, his opponent put his hand out, and they shook hands. So he thought he's resigning, because that's how good players resign. The guy who said it was a draw, he said, I offered a draw, and the guy shook my hand. And the other guy says he didn't offer a draw. Now here's what I think happened. I think the kid did offer a draw, and the other guy didn't hear him and thought he was resigning. That's what I think happened.
Yeah.
So, well, the guy who offered a draw, in his own mind, he thought it was accepted, and the other guy thought he was resigning, and they're both reasonable. And this is the next day when there was an argument. It wasn't right after. If it was right after, I could have him keep playing. But this is the next day. So I called another director who's a better director than me, and I told him what happened. And the person who's at fault is the person who crossed the score out and wrote the other score. When they saw the wrong score there, what they thought was wrong, they should have come to me, I'm the director, and say, hey, I just drew a game and it says that I lost. And then I could have got the guys together and we could have talked about it. But instead he's like, oh, that's wrong. Cross that out and write the right result. Well, somebody wrote that result, probably his opponent, right? Now I'll tell you a funny story, then we're done. This is 25 years ago. I'm playing in a tournament and I'm walking around in the room and the game's over. And they're like writing down what happened. So I'm nosy, I look. One guy wrote draw and the other guy wrote I won. And so I said, what was the result of the game? And one of them said I won, and the other guy said draw at the same time. Then they looked at each other. And the guy said I won. He said no, it was a draw. And there was a position on the board, and the guy's like, I'm winning, and made a move. The guy's like, no, I'm drawing, and he made a move. They kept playing moves. And they just started playing the game out. They were just playing chess really fast. Then something happened, like the guy won, it was a draw, and then they just agreed to that. So I don't even know how that happens. How does one guy thinks he won, and one guy thinks it's a draw? What? Now, before you showed up, I was explaining you don't say draw and put your hand out. That's not how you offer a draw. He's like, what? I don't believe you. When you offer a draw, you say offer a draw. If the guy accepts it, then you shake hands. You don't put your hand over the board and offer a draw. But if every kid's doing that, and by the way, when adults play, like grandmasters, masters, that's how we resign. We put our hand out to resign. We're like, yeah, you won.
Draw.
Good job, right? Okay, so you guys lasted a whole hour, you get a lollipop as long as your parents buy you one. If they don't, then you don't. All right, and as Gene Wilder said in the movie Young Frankenstein, class is dismissed.